Hey guys, what is going on? It's DaleyGaming here, and I am back with some more of the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod for Men of War Assault Squad 2. And today we have possibly the largest defensive battle I have ever done on this channel with Men of War. And that's because we have this humongous rebel base here, full of X-Wings, which are pretty badass looking, and most importantly, full of rebel soldiers. This is, of course, the new rebels, or the Resistance, as they were formerly known as, before they became the rebels yet again, from the new movies, because they're fighting the First Order over here. So basically, uh, these guys have this very large base that they are trying to defend, and they have stacked it, and I mean stacked it with rebels. As you can see, all of the walls are lined, and that's not even their first measure of defense. The first measure of defense is this massive trench line over here, and we got a couple of badass soldiers just sort of standing on it, which is also fully stocked. And then we also have little outposts out here like this one, which too have just massive rebel forces all along it. This is really a very large battle, and it is going to be pretty epic, I think. It is gonna lag. It's gonna lag a lot, but, you know, I felt like it would be really cool to do, so we're gonna do it despite the lag. First Order is equipped with many troops as well, so they won't be totally destroyed immediately by the rebels. They do have a fighting chance here, I think. I thought about giving them some vehicles, but then I thought, why make this lag more? Let's just make it an infantry battle for now. Okay, so let's just go ahead and press start. We're not going to mess around with slow-mo or anything like that because it's going to be slow enough with the FPS drop. Yeah, we're getting about 6 FPS right now. It's actually kind of hard to see because of all the woods, but it does look like the First Order is losing some troops pretty heavily right now, but they're managing to take out the rebel outposts in the very front lines, which is of course their most important objective right now, because they have to take out the preliminary defenses in order to move on to the bigger defenses like the trenches here, of course, which the trench line does appear to be doing actually very well. It is hardly getting suppressed. I don't really see any dead soldiers. Let's check on the other rebel outposts out here. Yeah, we got this little wooden shack they've built, which is actually surviving. It's doing pretty well, and this little thing over here, which we were looking at the very beginning, has almost entirely wiped out the First Order around it. They have managed to do quite some powerful things, but they do have the backup of the fort way back here, which is just laying down huge amounts of fire for them, and just decimating the First Order ranks. I mean, look at them. They're getting crushed. This behemoth of a city is really sticking it to the First Order. Luckily, they do have some grooves in the forest here where they can sort of use trench lines, you know. It is lagging fairly considerably, as was to be expected, but it's all for the video, man. I mean, I'm using my better PC, which is actually pretty good, and it's lagging like a mother. But you know what? It's you know what? I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna justify my lag, but it's fun. It's fun to see massive units all around. Surprisingly, there are still some people alive in these forward outposts. You know, I really expected them to go down very fast, but they're actually doing okay. Although now they're starting to go down a little bit more, which is tough, but you know, that's okay. The trench line is losing some people, as we just saw, but there's just so many in there that the rebels, they're gonna hold on to it for a good while, I feel like. Although the First Order is creeping up. Oh no, actually, the southern side of the trench has completely gone down. I didn't even realize that. Okay, so maybe that trench line is not going to last very long. The people in the base who are guarding the interior are actually already getting into some firefights with the First Order on the outside. The guys on the ramparts seem relatively untouched. I don't really see any dead. Oh, there's one right there. Also, I thought I put people on here. Maybe they died and fell through the world or something like that. Oh, and there's some dead on the far left over here, but those guys, I have a feeling, are going to live for a while. The First Order is getting into their firing arc, in which they can't fire on them because it's too downward of a slope. So that's good for the First Order. They're making some progress. But then they meet a pocket of resistance like these guys did, and they immediately go down no matter how far up they made it. It's tough for the First Order during this battle. But the southern side does actually seem to be making some work. They're zoning in on this trench here and slowly picking off the remainder of the occupants. As we can see, they're actually going into the trench and having to clear it out foot by foot as the rest of these rebels in here die, but there's still actually some alive that the First Order have yet to manage to kill, and they're still taking losses due to them. But that's understandable because they're still fighting the guys on the wall here. There's so many aspects of this battle that the First Order has to deal with that it becomes very difficult to actually achieve their objective overall. But you gotta hand it to them for their persistence here because they're really pushing. They're trying their best, and we still see laser fire flying every which way. Let's see how the interior did. They lost a couple of men here, but they seem to still be alive. It looks like probably the First Order just disengaged from them and decided to go for the trench line instead. I think that was probably a better idea for the First Order. Just wipe out this first and then move in, you know. Yeah, the northern part over here it's hurting for the First Order. They've still got plenty of men alive, but they're all suppressed underneath tree cover or these little divots in the woods. They're not actually managing to get any kills or anything like that. Look at this guy. He made it all the way to the wall, actually, while his comrades fell. Quite noble of him. Alright. Well, the rebels are still going strong, you know? This is going to be a tough nut to crack for the First Order. But I still have hope that they're going to be able to do it, because as we can see, they still have a plethora of men alive. They're still going, you know? It's not like they're done. You know, they have the forces. They can do this if they don't make too many mistakes here. These guys out here in the middle of the force, I think, are a lost cause. I mean, they're just going down so hard. They're having so much trouble that I don't think this front is going to be as lucrative as we had hoped. But for now, they can just draw the fire away from the main force over here that has survived, which is still going strong and still maintaining their fire rate. And actually, they're taking out a good number of the rebels on the ramparts here, which is difficult to do because there are so many rebels over here. There are a ton of them. And it's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to quickly plug in my external board here. And select player 1, 2, I want 2, I want player 2, there we go. Okay, so as we can see on the minimap, the First Order is actually kind of carved. They go in like a little circle here. And I think that's just because, you know, the no man's land is in here, which no one's going into, obviously, it's no man's land. And the First Order is staying away from that, and on the outskirts they've created a circular perimeter, which is kind of funny to see. It's cool that the AI knows to do that. But I do want to send some First Order units into the base now. I think it's time that they started a proper assault here. So they're going to be going in while others still maintain the pressure on the outside of the base. That's what we're going to be doing now. And it does look like the rebels are managing to get some shots off on the First Order, but the First Order is piling in now a little bit. The few squads that they managed to actually get in there. These guys on the wall over here should still be able to take out those First Order troopers down there. The rebels on the wall over here are just stacked. They have such high numbers over there because they really won their battle against the First Order. Meanwhile, the guys on the southern part of the wall did not win nearly as... I don't think they won at all. They got pretty wrecked. So the First Order is actually starting to go on the ramparts here. We see one soldier made it as far as this second level here and then went down. That's pretty impressive. You got to give it to him. More are going up here though, and proceeding forward. They're going down though. The rebels still have fight left in them. There's still a high number of rebels defending this base that it's going to be tough to take for the First Order. A lot of them are just kind of stacking up against these rocks. We're going to try and divert them from there, because they're not doing anything right now except for derping around. It looks like most of the squads that came in here have been shot down by the rebels. But more are to come. Don't worry, the First Order, they're not done yet. They've still got more forces to go. The lag has gotten considerably better. We're floating around 19 FPS right now, which is pretty good, especially for this game. Oh man, these poor rebels right here are caught in the middle. They've got to fire at First Order over there, fire at First Order over here, and fire at First Order coming in the base itself. It's going to be tough for them. We do have 2 rebel soldiers right here. They could get some sweet grenades off over here, but they're not doing that. Hopefully they can stem the tide of First Order moving in on them. Maybe take out a few of them. That'd be pretty good for them. We still got some rebels over here too, laying on the floor ready to fire at the First Order once they come up this little section of the ramp. But as long as they stay below that section, they won't get shot at as much. The First Order who have taken this area over here, they're still taking some losses, but they're at least managing to suppress the rebels now. These guys are almost completely down. It has gone silent a little bit, actually, which is a little surprising. I didn't expect this battle to have any silent parts. Alright, I think it is time to start scooting the First Order in a little bit more. We're going to order squads to go deep. Okay, so the squads are now coming in. The rebel defense is still going strong and managing to take out a lot of the First Order troops that do come in here. First Order are trying to clamber onto this ramp again to shoot down on the rebels. Probably a good strategy. Should work out well if they manage to do it. This little area over here is getting slightly overrun by First Order, but they're managing to keep up their fire rate and actually take out their First Order troopers who are coming in, which is good. You know, these X-Wings are no longer usable. They probably didn't use them in the battle because they had some sort of malfunction or something like that, I'm sure. Or else they would be utilizing them. Looks like the rebels who were stationed over here have gone down due to some grenades, which is a damn shame, but it's okay. Oh man, these First Order troops up here are now starting to get targeted pretty heavily by the rebels. Although these guys are all dead now. It's these guys over here that they have to worry about. These guys have nice cover, good weapons, and are actually managing to take out quite a number of First Order troops. Also, these guys over here on the wall are now able to fire down on the First Order as well. So it looks like that First Order assault was fairly successful. We're going to send in round 2 now and collect men from the outside here and send them in. This is sort of the last push for the First Order that I think they have at their disposal. They're running dangerously low on men now, and they're not going to be able to do much if they don't master this push here. They have enough men, I think, to take the place right now, but if they suffer too many losses in their assault, then they might not be able to, you know? So it's really up to them on how they perform and stuff like that. I'm just sending everyone inside. They're just rushing the place now. I think we got everyone, did we? Yeah, for the most part. They outnumber the rebels still. You know, their men are coming in. But I mean, they're going to take some losses here. There's no doubt about it. The rebels have a good choke point on them, and the First Order is going to have to make good use of whatever cover they can find. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. And they do seem to be hugging the wall, which is a good thing to see. You guys are still on the outside. Come on in here. Get in. We need all of our forces now. We really do. All right. So the First Order seems to be clustering over here. Probably a smart move. That's the only place with cover, but grenades are starting to come in, which, as we saw, that one got a couple people. These rebels here are actually on top of the First Order now, barely managing to actually survive. Oh, this is actually kind of a crazy battle. The First Order is just teaming in here. Oh man, that guy did like a flip when he died. Oh shit. Yeah, First Order is having a lot of trouble, but if they hug the wall some more like they're doing now, they might actually be able to come closer. I did not command those guys to go up there. They did that on their own merit, and it does look like it worked for them. They managed to take that section, but now they're taking a lot of fire from everywhere. This is pretty crazy. I'm really happy on how this battle turned out. I don't know if the First Order is still going to be able to do this, though. The amount of losses they've taken is just monumental. This is definitely tough. This is very desperate for the rebels, who are they're just big chillin' over here. They're getting a lot of fire off, which is great for them. As long as they don't stay suppressed, they'll have a fighting chance here. And I think they've definitely fought well enough to to gain victory here if they keep it up. But they are starting to take some losses on the ground here. These guys on the ramp, though, those are the key. They're the key to this battle. If they manage to stay alive, then the First Order is in some trouble. They're in some serious trouble. We see a couple of troopers taking a moment to heal up here, bandage their wounds, which is probably smart, but their comrades are going down. No amount of bandaging can take away the amount of suppressive fire that the rebels are doing. All right, these ground forces need to make a move here. We're sending them into these barracks here. I think it's needed. They need cover. They're just not utilizing themselves well enough. So we're sending them in. And this is somewhat helping a little bit. I mean, they're getting targeted now, but they're at least getting cover. We can split the fire in half here if we come on. Frickin' go up there. Yeah, there we go. If we manage to get our guys up on that as well, that'll be great. Okay, so now we have two fronts going. We have one up here with these guys who are managing to fire on them, and the guys down here. Although the guys down here are going down pretty heavily. Come on, guys. Oh, no. Alright, one last push in the middle here. And you guys gotta get up and freaking fire, dudes. Help your bros out. Oh, they're getting trashed. They're getting absolutely trashed. Fire! Nope. Oh, God. Alright. There is, like, very, very few First Order troops left alive. Those that are alive are probably seriously tired and worn out from the complete day of fighting here. Oh my god. My dog's making some noise in the background. Sorry about that. Oh man. They have maybe one squad left. See what you can do, guys. Get out there. Take them out. Yeah, they're just failing on all parts here. Fire at them. Take them out. Alright, we'll retreat. Retreat back, guys. The three members who lived are retreating back. My dog just jumped on the couch next to me. Alright, well, that was a hell of a battle. I was actually thoroughly entertained by that. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Let's check out the losses here, because they are a lot. Look at all the First Order who died in the woods here. Crazy numbers. But let's not forget, they did wipe out a lot of rebels out here, too, and a lot of rebels in here. But overall, the First Order took monumental losses. Their entire army was wiped out. Meanwhile, the rebels lost a lot of men, but they maintained fire, and they took out more than they lost. It was an impressive battle. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Comment, rate, and subscribe if you did, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.